Yes, he does.
Set me free, so I trust him more and more. When I
You just gotta push.
be strong,
Keep on pushing.
he's on the ground and I push. Pray until something happens, push. Press will lighten the burden, push. And no door shall be open, Jesus is here, so don't
Yeah.
push. Just when you're about to give in, push. That's when God's about to step in, push. For as long as you're living, push, 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 push. Every day,
As long as you've got a life,
every night, every week,
let there be one final push in you.
push, 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 push. Every
Even if you think you're on your last breath,
night, every way,
use that last breath and make a
push, 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 push. Life always
yeah.
ups and downs. Trusting in Jesus, I can be strong. All I must do is to take his hands. Heaven and earth answer to his command. Hey! Push. Da, da, da,
Never give up.
da, 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 push.
One final push. Yeah. You know, despite the challenges of life, life is really beautiful. Life is really a wonderful. As a matter of fact, it's the best gift you can ever have, man.
Know that you will,
Yeah.
that his hands are open wide. Just submit
Just in case you're wondering, the time it's 28 minutes on to the 7 o'clock.
behind.
It's Good Morning Grenada for yet another day. It's Thursday, the 12th of January.
Don't listen to those
A good friend of mine said, wow, he finds the month of January is going fast.
fooling yourself.
I said, yeah, it is.
Won't last once you trust him.
It is.
Play.
Our life is getting shorter by the day,
Tell God,
by the minute, by the hour, by the second.
pray until something happens. Push. Press will like
You might have wasted quite a lot of time before, but make every second of your life, the rest of your life count, okay?
push. Just when
Do something meaningful, do something positive.
you're about to step in. Push.
Notwithstanding the fact that you will make some slips here and there.
Push. Every day,
Every now and then you'll get something wrong.
every way.
Yeah. Hence the reason why you've got to.
Push. Push. Every day, every day. Every
Good morning, Kingman Ajamo. How you doing, bro?
push. Push.
Keep on pushing. I'm on the road with you, right?
Pussy them.
I told you so.
Pussy them. Push.
Told you I would use you as my catalyst.
Push. Push. Push.
Mm-hmm.
Forward, pussy them. Push. Onward, pussy them. Push. Oh, my.
Once again, I want to say a very special good morning to Pastor Laurie and the congregation of the Western Hall New Testament Church of God.
Energy. Push.
Really enjoyed that prayer session last night, man. That worship session.
When you
Yeah.
back on the push. All alone, you're sad and blue.
As I said to you earlier, if you haven't been to church in quite a while, okay?
Hang on.
Try it one of these days. Make it sooner than later. And feel the difference. I know there are those of you who would say, I ain't going to church, too many hypocrites there. Well, saying that you're not going to church because there are a lot of hypocrites there, it's like saying I'm not going to the gym because there are too many fat people there. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's where you gotta go, man. When you feel down and out, just, go in the presence of the great I am. So once again, good morning. 26 minutes now on to the 7 o'clock. I love life, trust me. It's not always going good. As a matter of fact, in my case, sometimes you ain't going good for a while. But I go to bed in the night and I wake up in the morning and saying, hey, this is a new opportunity, Things will be different. And I don't just sit on my laurels waiting for things to happen. I try to make them happen. So folks, I urge you, be the best version of yourself today. Don't compete with anyone, okay? No, that adds a lot of stress on you. Trying to compete with someone else, their lifestyle. You know how you think things are going good for them because, they seem to be flashy and dashy. It is said if you think your neighbor's grass is greener, you bet your bottom dollar they're paying more money to Nawasa to keep the glass. All right, good morning, Mr. Husbands and the rest of the team at Nawasa. Wendell, my partner, what's going on? All is well? Nice. Okay, folks, let's head into the business of the day. You know, at this time we always give you a word to improve on your vocabulary. All right, and this morning it's no exception. The word that we've got for the day is the word bombast. Bombast. It is spelled B-O-M-B-A-S-T. It is a noun, and it means a speech or writing that is meant to sound important or impressive, but that is not sincere or meaningful. Yeah, bombast refers to a speech or writing that is meant to sound important or impressive, but it's not sincere or meaningful. Just words. Yeah, playing along with words. Not really a true report. Fake report. And we can use the word bombast in this way. The other world leaders at the international conference had little interest in being subjected to the host president's bombast, his impressive speech. That was very insincere. Yeah, bombast. It's a noun. Remember that. Write it down, okay? And try using it. You might find an opportunity to use it today. Try that. Let's now look at the thought of the day. And the thought of the day says, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. That's interesting. Very interesting, but so very true. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. In essence, what it is saying, let's sum this up. What it is saying is that when the odds are against you, use it as your propeller to take off. Yeah? When everybody is doubting you and everything is going wrong, let it be, that motivating factor that takes you to another level. Yeah, when everything seems to be going against you, remember the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. It lands against the wind also in most cases. Yeah, it uses, as a matter of fact, it uses the wind to slow it down when it's about to land. Sometimes you got to take your time and land, Yeah, so what the airplane does is that it lowers its flaps and braces against the wind to slow it down. Slow its forward motion down, yeah. Good, nice. 22 minutes rather, on to the hour of 7 o'clock. At 15 minutes, we've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather. So let's look at what's buzzing this morning. And as I had a conversation with my TV guy, and I said, listen, we are going to run the 3 stories that are there this morning. We're going to run the clips, and you're going to talk on any of them, or maybe, talk on what you want to talk on in context with what we have this morning. And we're going to try, I've been getting a lot of calls to, reduce the length of time of the conversation, all right? And, the number of times people are calling, other people want to get an opportunity, okay? So let's be considerate. All right, so one of the stories buzzing this morning, more than $6 million in debt. The Marketing and National Importing Board is on the verge of collapse. The government of Grenada is now seeking stakeholders' view on the future of the organization. A very interesting one. Yeah, I would love to hear from you on that. Farmers, get your mouth ready. Get the brain in gear first, though. All right, a new COVID-19 strain is causing concerns around the world, but local health officials have no immediate plans to implement border restrictions. The opposition New National Party is urging government to take precautionary measures. Well, we ought to be careful, all right? We got to be careful. I would not like for us to get back to the lockdown phase. So we have to be mindful. As I keep saying to you, COVID is still here. I want to say good morning to all the members of the Grenada Association of Retired Persons, GARP. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Snag and Mr. Khan and the rest of the team. I have to pass by most likely today. 4 million Canadian dollars in assistive devices and other medical supplies received to aid hospitals, nursing homes, and individuals. That's coming from GAP. Yeah, nice. Good. What else is buzzing this morning? All right, we've got a new resident British commissioner. The British High Commission has welcomed the new resident British commissioner to Grenada. So these are the stories that are buzzing this morning. Like I said, we are going to run the clips and you are going to talk on any of them. But again, I urge you to be considerate. Remember, there are other people who will be trying to call. And I'm saying this not to point any finger at anybody. This is just the general aim of the program, to keep it short, compact, and move on, all right? So good. The word of the day, the word bombast. And it refers to a speech or writing that is meant to sound important or impressive, but that is not sincere or meaningful. And we can use it this way. The other world leaders at the international conference had little interest in being subjected to the host president's bombast. All right, and the thought of the day. When everything seems to be going against you, remember, the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. This too shall pass. So, folks, this is where we wrap up this segment. We come back on after the AM edition of news, sports, and the weather here in Classic. Those of you on the other platforms, the television and so forth, we've got the rebroadcast of last evening's GBN television news. Stick and stay with us. We'll be back.
We all have wishes at Christmas. Maybe it's a car, repairs to your home, new appliances, or travel. Get yourself that perfect gift with a GUT Credit Union Christmas Make-A-Wish loan. You can get the money you need to make that holiday wish come true. Apply for a loan and you'll be entered to win one of 5 shopping sprees at Foodland Supermarket. Plus, great prices from Sol AC Limited, Dean Mattresses, Digicel Grenada Limited, and Beacon Insurance. Call 440-1354. Email loans@gutcu.com or visit go.gutcu.com/Christmas. Apply now and make your wish the perfect gift this Christmas. Special conditions apply.
Thanks for joining us. The alleged rape of a teenager, the assault of a student by an adult, and the offense of buggery, robbery, and rape are stories GBN is following. Rena Thomas has these updates.
Police has confirmed that there is an ongoing investigation into a video circulating on social media involving a female adult slapping a secondary school student at the entrance of a local school this week. The video showed the adult slapping the child clad in her school uniform after warning her to discontinue bullying her daughter. It hit over 1,000 views and sparked hundreds of comments and posts on social media from people within 24 hours. Meanwhile, 2 men have been charged with burglary, robbery, and rape. Landscaper of Vincent's, St. David, 25-year-old Prince Harry, and Alden Joseph, 29-year-old laborer of Dunbar, St. David, were jointly charged by officers attached to the Criminal Investigation Department with the offenses of burglary, 2 counts, and robbery with violence, 2 counts. Henry was also charged with 1 count of rape and wounding, and Joseph was charged with 2 counts of rape. The charges stemmed from incidents which occurred at Syracuse and David on January 1st, 2023, in which both men allegedly broke into 2 separate homes at night and committed the offenses. The men appeared at the St. David's Magistrate Court Wednesday and were remanded until tomorrow, January 12, 2023. In an unrelated story, police are yet to confirm information reaching GBN's newsroom of an alleged rape case involving a 13-year-old female earlier this week. GBN will continue to follow these reports and will bring you more information as it becomes available. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
Well, some people were booked and ready to go but had no means of getting out. That's because they got the bad news that American Airlines flights were cancelled on Wednesday morning. Nisha Paul has been trying to find out why.
The American Airlines flight into Grenada on Wednesday morning was cancelled. An official at the MBIA has confirmed that the Miami to Point Saline and the Point Saline to Miami flight was called off. This was as a result of a computer glitch in the Federal Aviation Administration system, which alerts pilots to potential hazards on flight routes. Some American Airlines flights to Grenada are routed through Miami. Over 4,000 1,000 flights in and out of the U.S. were delayed and more than 800 canceled. GBN contacted officials at American Airlines in Grenada who confirmed the cancellation of the flight into MBIA. When quizzed about the reason for the cancellation, they said they were unable to comment and referred us to American Airlines officials in the U.S. who provided the following statement, and I quote, "American has resumed operations now that the Federal Aviation Administration's nationwide ground stop has ended. We continue to closely monitor the situation, which impacts all airlines, and are working to minimize further disruption to our customers and operation. To support our customers whose travel was affected by the FAA system issue, we're providing additional flexibility to rebook their travel plans today and tomorrow without any additional fees. Customers can find the latest flight information by using the American Airlines app or visiting aa.com." End quote. According to the American airline official, as of 9:45 a.m., the airline has canceled nearly 400 flights and 850 flights have been delayed as a result of the FAA system issue. Meanwhile, the U.S. Transportation Secretary said there is no evidence yet that Wednesday's air travel technology meltdown resulted from a cyber attack. However, he said they also wouldn't rule it out. Earlier this week, people here were warned by the National Cybersecurity Incident Response Team of a malicious cyber campaign targeting Grenadian companies, organizations, and entities. For GBN News, I am Nisha Paul.
Now, over $6 million in debt. The Marketing and National Importing Board is on the verge of collapse. The government of Grenada is now seeking stakeholders' views on the future of the organization. Beverly Telesford reports.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell began a series of town hall-style engagements with farmers and other stakeholders who conduct business or trade with the Marketing and National Importing Board, MNIB, the first of which was held on Tuesday evening at the St. Andrew's Methodist School. During Tuesday's interaction, Prime Minister Mitchell revealed that the organization owes millions to multiple financial institutions.
The Marketing and National Importing Board owes two banks significant sums of monies totaling roughly about $6 million. As it stands, the MNIB is unable to pay the banks, and the banks have indicated to the government that obviously, in polite language, they'd like to know how they are getting their money. Give or take, MNIB owes about $2.8 million to other creditors. That involves farmers, suppliers, landlords from which it is operating, utility suppliers like the power company, etc. And obviously it is challenged to pay these persons as well.
Government had to pay the salaries of MNIB employees for November and December last year and anticipates the same will have to be done for January 2023. Prime Minister Mitchell says, faced with these challenges, it is critical that government makes a decision on whether to continue to support the MNIB or to dissolve the organization. He explains that they have already met with the staff of the MNIB.
As a result, we held two meetings ending last Friday with the staff of the Marketing and National Importing Board, and prior to that, the union representing the workers of the Marketing and National Importing Board, because the government has to make a hard decision and make it very quickly as to what becomes of the fate of the Marketing and National Importing Board. And so obviously one of the stakeholders impacted by whatever decision we will make are farmers and other persons who supply or sell to the Marketing and National Importing Board.
In July 2022, 1 month after taking up office, the Prime Minister reported that government was considering shutting down the entity.
I want to be very clear that based on my preliminary briefing as it pertains to Marketing and National Importing Board, we may have to seriously consider ending the life of the Marketing and National Importing Board and reconstituting either a new entity or an entity that really was meant to carry out the mandate of the Marketing and National Importing Board. So I'm saying this early because it may not so that it does not come as a surprise if we find ourselves there sooner rather than later.
Another consultation is scheduled for Wednesday evening at the St. John Anglican School. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Meanwhile, farmers, agro-processors and other stakeholders were given the opportunity to voice their concerns and make recommendations for the future of the MNIB. We can tell you, too, the issues range from the inaccessibility of materials to a lack of market for produce. Many of them said that the MNIB needs to be revamped with new principles and regulations.
Marketing Board has been instrumental in me staying in business up until a number of years ago. And I would like to see that organization continue. It's very sad that the state that it is in now, and I always believe, you know, there is always a positive side. The glass is either half full or half empty. But I think in Marketing Board's case, it is half full. The only thing I think now, what has to be done, Marketing Board has to be re-engineered.
They have a serious problem on their hand in terms of the loans to pay and other things, a lot of overhead expense, which pose a great demand on Marketing Board. So we have to zero in on the packing house. As I said before, cut out all the outlets, and you have to have the farmer as your best friend. We must be well paid. Farming is hard work. Without the farmers, Marketing Board goes nowhere. The fresh start will be of no use. So keep us close, encourage us, and we do this thing together.
I live through Marketing Board time, and Marketing Board, it seems like they have a disease. Marketing Board will take your produce, go with it, they will tell you, well, that is yours. You have a lot of reject, but you can't see no reject. And on top of that, fertilizers expensive, everything expensive right now. Every time a shipment come, the price go up. But my price ain't going up. My price can go up. I don't know why the situation. My price can go up. When I say it can go up, I mean it can go up.
So it will be very sad to lose Marketing Board right now, because some of my independence will be gone, because that is one of my main markets besides the market in the States. That's my main market where I supply all my stuffs like cocoa ball, all the spices.
COVID-19 strain is causing concerns around the world, but health officials have no immediate plans to implement border restrictions. The opposition New National Party is urging governments to take precautionary measures to guard against the new COVID-19 strain. Rena Pet Thomas has this report.
In speaking on GBN's To The Point program on Wednesday, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles indicated that placing restrictions at the border is not on the agenda of the Ministry of Health for now. His statement comes amidst worldwide concerns due to a surge in the XBB 1.5 Omicron sub-variant COVID cases in the U.S. and a marked outbreak of the COVID cases in China. Dr. Charles says there are plans in place to deal with the virus when the need may arise.
I mean, like any other country, we have our concerns, and but we've had experience with dealing with this virus now for 3 years. We know what strategies have worked. We know what measures, based on the level of immunity that is in the population, what measures are prudent to take now, as opposed to when this was all new and it was fresh in our minds. So we are more experienced in how we treat we treat it with the virus, and we make our preparations based on that experience that we have had in the past.
The chief medical officer said that after dealing with the COVID-19 virus for over 3 years, they are somewhat experienced in managing the situation.
All right, we've learned that at the rate at which this virus is traveling, sometimes certain travel measures, all right, may not be appropriate for this time, all right, because the virus, it makes its way around, very, very easily. So we use that knowledge to determine, okay, do we now go back and put measures in the airport where people need to test for travel and all of that? We say at this point in time, no, that is not really a consideration. The consideration should be on the individual protecting themselves, and adopting the measures to protect themselves.
The doctor did encourage citizens to listen to the advisory from the Ministry of Health or other credible sources and protect themselves and their loved ones by following the established protocols. Meanwhile, the New National Party is calling on the government of Grenada to take proactive measures to prevent or minimize severe sickness, hospitalization, and death on the island. Through a press release, the party says the development with the virus have led some countries to take precautionary measures to protect their citizens. They are urging the government to seek to obtain supplies of the latest bivalent COVID vaccine and other pharmaceutical and material supplies to protect and treat citizens, especially senior citizens with underlying medical conditions and frontline workers. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Former chairman of the COVID-19 committee, Dr. Berth Brathwaite, is encouraging people, especially the elderly and those with underlying conditions, to get vaccinated to guard against the new strain of COVID-19.
We don't know what the story of this new variant in the, coming from the U.S. is not all clear at present, but certainly the elderly population is vulnerable. So basically, all over 65-year-olds, if you've not had COVID during the last 6 months or so, and you've not been vaccinated, or even if you had vaccinations before, many people had, I think we had something like 40% or there around close to 40% of the population that was fully vaccinated, but that's a year or two ago. That's a long time. That immunity would have been. So if you're over 65, if you have medical issues, if you're significantly overweight, if you diabetic, hypertensive, if you have cancer, if you're a cancer sufferer, you're on chemotherapy, go get a booster.
Dr. Brathwaite said that while he is encouraging people to get vaccinated, no one should be forced to take the vaccine. His biggest concern is that not much is known about the new strain of the virus.
In the United States, I think that's where our biggest threat can come from. There's this XXB15 that has emerged, and it's the rates of growth in many parts, especially of Northeast United States, a part of the United States that we have a lot of contact with. That's going rapidly. And the virus is even more transmissible than Omicron, and we know how many people came down with Omicron. So we can anticipate that we are going to see a surge sometime in the first quarter of this year. We will see a surge of COVID cases here. And the question is, what do we do about it?
The medical doctor says he has been trying to secure the latest developed vaccine.
Now, I'm hoping, and this is one of my peeves, that we can get the bivalent vaccine. I've been asking around for both in the private and public sector now for a number of weeks, and can't hear that we are bringing it in. The bivalent vaccine is an advance on the original vaccine in that it looks specifically at Omicron, not specifically for this new variant, but it will work. The thinking is that it will work better against this new variant than the older vaccine. Of course, if you can't get the bivalent, you get any vaccine. But in the United States, if you just go into Walmart and you can go and get the vaccine, right? You have to pay for it. So I see no reason why we cannot have the bivalent vaccine. That's the latest version of vaccine available here.
Other news, $4 million Canadian dollars in assistive devices and other medical supplies received to aid hospitals, nursing homes, and individuals. Christina John reports.
An estimated $4 million Canadian dollars worth of medical supplies were donated to Grenada Association for Retired Persons Grenada from the Canada Caribbean Heart Health Education in Winnipeg. These medical supplies and assistive devices will be distributed to hospitals, organizations, elderly homes, and individuals across the state of Grenada. The donation was handed over Wednesday morning at the GAP headquarters in Lagoon Road, St. George. With the replacement of assistive devices an expensive undertaking, this donation is a welcomed one, as expressed by those in receipt.
Well, okay, for instance, we wanted beds with railings because what we are now getting is patients that are bedridden, and so this is really benefiting my home with the railings, and that's what I could say.
That was Patricia Chichester from the Chichester's Nursing Home located at Spring St. George. Collecting on behalf of the Charles Memorial Home in Diamond St. Mark was the institution's manager, Melinda Phillip.
I'm here this morning to collect donations on behalf of the institution, and I had to publicly say thank you to GAP and the donor partners for thinking of us, for going the extra mile, for putting forth that effort to put these much needed items together so that the residents, the elderly, people who need it most has access to it and can get these items for use. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Opel Peter, a friend of GAP, says the equipment are usable and praised the efforts of those involved in putting the package together to assist others who cannot afford to purchase them.
Some of these hospitals abroad, they have all these extra equipment every now and again when they change out the system, and they have all these good things that are good and are usable, but the system don't work with it anymore. So if they could give it to someone who needs it. So that's how I see, that's how I look at it.
Christina John, GBN News.
Talk about local health care, and many Grenadians will quickly respond and share their experiences. Grenada's healthcare system is what has been creating a buzz on social media.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our social buzz.
Healthcare is one of the 6 pillars outlined in the 2023 budget presentation. The Prime Minister was GBN's Beyond the Headlines guest on Monday evening. He noted that to have a successful nation, its people must first be healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Healthcare is an industry that Grenada is well poised to capitalize on if done properly to generate significant economic benefits and economic transformation. That's according to Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, who was the guest on GBN's first Beyond the Headlines program for 2023.
Social media users took to the comments section to share their thoughts about this development. The following views are those of members of the public and not of the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Carolyn said, "This is a great idea as a long-term goal. However, I do still believe that we need to come up with short-term goals to deal with issues we are facing now when it comes to the health system in Grenada." Joy added, "I agree the nation needs to be healthy. Everyone should be aware of what goes into the mouth. But exercising, that's another problem that has to be solved. The roads are not safe for walking because of vehicular traffic. Some of us do not live close to a playing field, and there are no centers where you can go. So that is a matter which needs attention. I love walking. In order to exercise, I would drive about a mile to use a playing field so I could be safe. Marcel asked, how will this impact the cost of health services to the ordinary Grenadian? Harriet said, we need specialists. Everyone just wants to be a general practitioner. #basic. That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
Shop at Southern Electrical for all your security camera needs. We offer a wide variety of cameras ranging from solar cameras with or without light, 4G cameras, Wi-Fi and PoE kits, 4th channel, 8 channels, 16 channels, replacement cameras for PoE, standalone Wi-Fi cameras, wall lamp or bulb, floodlights with cameras, watch cameras, pen cameras, and much more. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Southern Electrical, best value, expert advice, quality product. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook today.
You ate well, drank and indulged, laughed and had so much fun for the festive season. But now it's time. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Start the year right with your health as a priority. Cleanse and flush your blood, liver and kidneys with quality herbs and supplements. Purchase one of our detox combo packs starting from $100. Purchase a full body detox pack starting from $500. Get 10% off on colonic irrigation. Get a chance to win a free colonic irrigation treatment and product coupons with every purchase. We are located in Grandin, minutes before the Food Fair Shopping Center, immediately opposite the old Capital Bank building in the Regency Commercial Suites. Give us a call at 231-6642 or 418-7115 or visit nirvana.gd for more info. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. This offer is valid until March 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if...
Good morning, my people. Welcome to the conversation this morning. And if you're joining us for the first time, well, welcome on board. I am Gordon Joseph. They call me the Innocent One. And it's a joy to have you, to be here with you as well. And I'm going to start off quickly by going to our WhatsApp profile and see what's there. Well, this gentleman says... Hello, good morning, Innocent. Get ready for Pan on the Sand, Sunday, 29th January at Grandance. It starts at 3 p.m. Pan Vibes, the Independence Edition. I love that. Pan on the Sand. That sounds awesome. Good. Thanks for the info. Facebook says, good morning. Yulin Alexander says, good morning, Innocent. Good morning, Grenada. Blessings to all on this thankful Thursday. Have a blessed and safe day, everyone. Thanks, and same to you, Yulin. Alison Cox Asplan says, good morning to everyone. I am back after taking some time off from Facebook. Mary Ebang says, it looks like MNIB may have to be revamped or come under new management to be sustainable. And she also says, good morning. All right, good. So what we were looking at this morning, I told you that we had a number of topics that I want us to discuss, but we're going to do it briefly, okay? All right. We'll try to be very, very conservative with the time, okay? The first story we're going to look at this morning is more than $6 million in debt. The Marketing and National Importing Board is on the verge of collapse. The government of Grenada is now seeking stakeholders' view on the future of the organization. My television guy is going to run that clip, and we are going to look at it, and then we are going to have a conversation. What I think we'll do is that we'll run 3 clips, and then we'll talk on any of them. Okay? Go right ahead.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell began a series of town hall-style engagements with farmers and other stakeholders who conduct business or trade with the Marketing and National Importing Board, MNIB, the first of which was held on Tuesday evening at the St. Andrew's Methodist School. During Tuesday's interaction, Prime Minister Mitchell revealed that the organization owes millions to multiple financial institutions.
The Marketing and National Importing Board owes 2 banks significant sums of monies totaling roughly about $6 million. As it stands, the MNIB is unable to pay the banks, and the banks have indicated to the government that obviously, in polite language, they'd like to know how they are getting their money. Give or take, MNIB owes about $2.8 million to other creditors. That involves farmers, suppliers, landlords from which it is operating, utility suppliers like the power company, etc. And obviously it is challenged to pay these persons as well.
Government had to pay the salaries of MNIB employees for November and December last year and anticipates the same will have to be done for January 2023. Prime Minister Mitchell says, faced with these challenges, it is critical that government makes a decision on whether to continue to support the MNIB or to dissolve the organization. He explains that they have already met with the staff of the MNIB.
As a result, we held 2 meetings ending last Friday with the staff of the Marketing and National Importing Board, and prior to that, the union representing the workers of the Marketing and National Importing Board, because the government has to make a hard decision and make it very quickly as to what becomes of the fate of the Marketing and National Importing Board. And so obviously one of the stakeholders impacted by whatever decision we will make are farmers and other persons who supply or sell to the Marketing and National Importing Board.
In July 2022, 1 month after taking up office, the Prime Minister reported that government was considering shutting down the entity.
I want to be very clear that based on my preliminary briefing as it pertains to the Marketing and National Importing Board, we may have to seriously consider ending the life of the Marketing and National Importing Board and reconstituting either a new entity or an entity that really was meant to carry out the mandate of the Marketing and National Importing Board. So I'm saying this early because it may not, also that it does not come as a surprise if we find ourselves there sooner rather than later.
Another consultation is scheduled for Wednesday evening at the St. John Anglican School. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Thank you very much, Beverly. And TV guy, just hold for 1 second, all right? We have a caller, and it appears to be an overseas call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Just here a little bit concerned about our agriculture. It seems that agriculture is really tied.
I'm here with you.
Yes, agriculture is really tied to the Marketing and National Importing Board. It's very difficult to really separate the two. It appears to me that there's a really bad management over the years, and that has never been curtailed. But really, when you think of marketing, there are two things primarily you are thinking about. Some forum for buyers and sellers to meet, and secondly, the promotion of your product. We Grenadians, we don't have critical mass. 100,000 people, farmers cannot, well, a few might have a good living, but you really have to look at external markets. And if you go to North America, when you go to I'm calling from Canada, and when you go to the supermarkets, you see many things from Jamaica and Trinidad, but you hardly see any products from Grenada. So our secondary products are not being promoted. We have been selling soursop to Trinidad since I was a little boy. You go to the docks and you see the boats loaded. I have been on the docks in Trinidad, and it's just tons of products going down there. But after 40, 50 years, someone cannot tell me that we can sell the soursop juice to Trinidad. Well, I don't think Trinidadians are just eating the soursop. I think they are doing something secondary with it. So we cannot make ice cream.
Good
we
point.
cannot make boxed juices with soursop. I see them from Central America up here. So I don't understand why we are so much, and we really want to support the farmers, but we really have to think about secondary products in Grenada that are going to sustain our people, some form of employment. I do not understand why we have trade shows around the region, and the marketing board should be the one showcasing these products with our farmers and our agro-processors. So they are making a mistake. You have to promote what we have. And when I come down there, I go to the marketing board, and I have to tell you, I am disappointed because we should have a massive supermarket showcasing what Grenada sell, and we have to have our secondary products. You go to Jamaica, Jamaicans would line up in Kingston for their foods. So why can't we do something like that? Yes, critical mass is a thing. 100,000 people, I understand. Kingston has more people than the entire OECS put together. But somewhere along the line, we got to think about selling something other than just the fruits. I know that there's a lot of talk about agro-processing, but somewhere along the line, ladies and gentlemen, we have to get serious about secondary products. You go to North American shelves, and I can tell you, very few things say made in Grenada.
Okay.
But
all right, thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And what's the weather like in Toronto?
Well, it's a bit cold. You have to be dressed up.
Okay. All right. Have a good one, man.
Thank you very much.
All right. Good. Thanks. Have a good day. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, and I endorse that statement. I've said that before. I don't think enough emphasis is placed on our local products. All right. The call by the gentleman for establishing a huge supermarket selling Grenadian stuff, I love that idea. And let's see what happens going forward. Good morning, caller.
Yes, morning, Mr. Anderson.
Hi, morning.
The viewers and listeners. You see, the problem we are faced now with the marketing board arrived from the issue of governance. Over the years, the way we have approached the board, the entity is unscientific, irrational. We have put people on the board that have no idea. And also we have used MMIB as a political instrument. And I would say, before we make a decision, the people who have been involved in governance of this thing should be investigated. I'm serious, because we should do everything to save the marketing board. I'm not suggesting we do something with it as was done with the post office by pooling the IMF, because we don't give, we withdrew former state subsidy and allow it to run as an independent entity, while we don't know, while the people of Grenada didn't understand what was going on. But finally, I don't want to give me a time limit. I think before anything, we must get, in fact, I was hoping that some of the information available on the corruption and so on within that board, within that entity would have been revealed. But I would urge the authorities, notwithstanding what the situation is, not to just make a rash decision and close it down because it has potential. The purpose was very noble, and we should try and salvage it, notwithstanding the cost that it would be to us. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, caller. 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, that is the time, and it's a conversation. The marketing board, in my opinion, it's a very, very vital part, or it should be a very vital and critical part of the Grenadian economy. Yeah, we're agricultural based. Good morning, caller.
Morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, well, the marketing board is a very good thing because we know that agriculture is a serious thing because man must eat food. And if the food comes from the earth, so you have to plant. And if you don't plant, you'll have to buy. And if we plant in Grenada, we have to import, so we're in that kind of system. But I know over 10 years now, you see that piece of land close to Foodland, that area, that big wide area where they have some trailer trucks and things that's parked there. I know the government said that that was a mark to make a big building for the marketing board. So I don't know what happened to that, but government seems to be renting everything and money going fast. Right, then look at the people in the market. The people overgrow the market. There's more vendors than the size of the market. Look at the place by the, how they call it? They have a piece on the carnage where the people selling on the side of the road there. There's a building, you look at it by the post office, a big piece of building, it have no roof on it. People using there as a toilet sometimes. Right on the side by where a lady does roast corn. You're looking at it as a whole building the post office occupying. Why don't clean out there, put a roof on it, and make it a market? People can go. You have to have separate little small markets in Grenada. You can't have this big market.
Okay.
It's not working. So you could have a market and a carnage. So people in that carnage area is going to that market. You have a market in the town, right in town. That market with vegetable. You have people going there.
Okay, caller, we're not really talking about, we spoke about the market yesterday already, all right? We're looking at the life and what could be done with the market, national and marketing board. So thanks for your input, okay?
Okay then.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah.
24 minutes after 7 o'clock, that is the time. Let me take a quick peek at what's happening on our Facebook page. I want to keep my online viewers and listeners. All right, Patrice Cummings says, good morning, my beautiful people of Grenada. Okay, Heaven Hill says, Innocent, sometimes when you run the news clips, I guess in the conversation, too much time is spent regurgitating the entire story. Just highlight the salient parts. I'll summarize the story. All right, we'll look into that. Thanks for that observation. Yulin Alexander says, oh wow, pan on the sand. I love that. Will be very nice. Good. Okay, I hope it is very well. Anything with pan is going to be nice. All right, this person from WhatsApp says, good morning. Who are the auditors? Why no one speak about the problem before? I think that it should be managed by a private entity. We're talking Marketing and National Importing Board. And this seems to be a burning issue. So we'll spend a little more time on the Marketing and National Importing Board. I'd love to. I'm not hearing many of my farming friends calling. Good morning, caller.
Oh, yes, good morning to you, sir.
Welcome. How are you?
Quiet, and how are you today?
I am alive and thankful.
Great, keep it that way. Have a great day. Now, Marketing Board, a number of areas. One, Marketing Board is not in a good area. So you need
in terms of its location? Location,
yes. You need a better area where people could park, where people could shop properly. That's a congested area, right? It doesn't have the space. There's another area, I think Marketing Board is spread too wide. You need to cut off the what you call the business area and the satellite area. And you have collection points. And you have a central location for sales. Marketing Board should only be what you call a marketing and sales distribution of the farmer's produce, because when you look at Marketing Board, there is a lot of items that is dead stock. It shouldn't be there at all, competing with the supermarkets. So you're carrying a lot of dead stock, and that is waste. But central to that, you need what you call a manager with all the sciences of management, and to hold that particular manager accountable. We have that problem, the accountability to deliver, right? The staff is too big. You have to travel, and that's the weight on the Marketing Board.
What is too big?
The staff.
Oh, the staff.
Yeah, because if you have outlets, you have to carry a big staff. And the returns of the organization, I don't think can bring any returns, any profit based on the size of the staff. So the staff need to cut down. So you cut down the outlets, and you have one central outlet. You have what you call holding areas, and you have one sales point. So these factors, if you deal with these factors and you have a good manager and hold that manager accountable, I believe it could be profitable. Outside of that area, it's going to fail.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. 27 minutes after 7 o'clock, that is the time. And yeah, I kind of like the centralizing of Marketing and National Importing Board. But when we do that, where would be a good place? Because we're talking agricultural produce, right? That most of farming is done in the rural communities. So would it be viable? Would it be business sense? Would it be prudent to establish the Marketing and National Importing Board's central point in one of the rural communities? That's a question. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Yeah. Most government businesses suffer for the simple reason they choose people on who are sort of attached to them or who vote for them. In any business, as you would see all over the island, Grenada, the private business do not choose political people or people as their friends. They choose people who can do the work. In fact, I don't see our businesses are flourishing perhaps in Grenada. Why should Marketing Board? Because it's a government, perhaps entity, and it's run by private people. We have so many square pegs in round wood, or round pegs in square holes. So the major problem is any business government is involved in should be manned by efficient people, not people because they voted for me, I will give them money. Anybody still in any department or any place in Grenada, what is government should be placed with stiff penalty, should be given stiff penalty, or place them in a place that they will collect the money or sell out whatever they have when they steal. This is what they have to do. They have to give them stiff penalty. But the marketing board could be a viable entity once it is run on sound footing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, caller. Thank you very much. And my good friend is really adhering to the time limit this morning. That's nice. I like this guy. Folks, it's 30 minutes after 7 o'clock. What we do, we take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll look at this other buzzing story. The new COVID strain is here. It's causing concerns along the world. However, our health officials have no immediate plans to implement border restrictions. We also hear that the opposition New National Party is urging government to take precautionary measures. So we take a commercial break. When we come back, that is what we will be looking at. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now, not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need to help before it's too late, Mom.
We can't let it get worse.
What can I do?
We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in Carry Forum, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. 27 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That is the time, and we're into the conversation this morning. As I hinted to you, we are going to look at this other buzzing topic. New COVID-19 strain is causing concerns around the world, but local health officials have no immediate plans to implement border restrictions. We also hear that the opposition New National Party is urging government to take precautionary measures. My television guy is going to run that clip, and then we'll talk.
In speaking on GBN's To The Point program on Wednesday, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles indicated that placing restrictions at the border is not on the agenda of the Ministry of Health for now. His statement comes amidst worldwide concerns due to a surge in the XBB 1.5 Omicron sub-variant COVID cases in the U.S. and a marked outbreak of the COVID cases in China. Dr. Charles says there are plans in place to deal with the virus when the need may arise.
I mean, like any other country, we have our concerns, and but we've had experience with dealing with this virus now for 3 years. We know what strategies have worked. We know what measures, based on the level of immunity that is in the population, what measures are prudent to take now, as opposed to when this was all new and it was fresh in our minds. So we are more experienced in how we treat it with the virus, and we make our preparations based on that experience that we have had in the past.
The Chief Medical Officer said that after dealing with the COVID-19 virus for over 3 years, they are somewhat experienced in managing the situation.
All right, we've learned that at the rate at which this virus is traveling, sometimes certain travel measures, all right, may not be appropriate for this time, all right, because the virus it makes its way around, very, very easily. So we use that knowledge to determine, okay, do we now go back and put measures in the airport where people need to test for travel and all of that? We say at this point in time, no, that is not really a consideration. The consideration should be on the individual protecting themselves, and adopting the measures to protect themselves.
The doctor did encourage citizens to listen to the advisory from the Ministry of Health or other credible sources and protect themselves and their loved ones by following the established protocols. Meanwhile, the New National Party is calling on the government of Grenada to take proactive measures to prevent or minimize severe sickness, hospitalization, and death on the island. Through a press release, the party says the development with the virus have led some countries to take precautionary measures to protect their citizens. They are urging the government to seek to obtain supplies of the latest bivalent COVID vaccine and other pharmaceutical and material supplies to protect and treat citizens, especially senior citizens with underlying medical conditions and frontline workers. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Thank you very much, Rena. Hope you're doing well. 23 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That is the time. So you've heard it, all right? No restrictions, immediate plans to restrict our borders at the moment. Is it wise? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Ooh, I am alive, but you're trying to deaf me, man.
What I try to is only one thing. I want to say something this morning, and it's true, The farmer's name is not calling at all. You have a good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coltier man. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Yeah, let's take a quick look at what's happening on our Facebook page. All right, Veronica Sandy says, good morning, GBN, Grenada, Carriacou, PD Martini. Good morning, Gordon, Innocent Joseph. Blessings to everyone. Good morning, and same to you, Miss Veronica. Annette Ragbison says, caller, the out parishes, branches of MNIB are equally as important as the central one. I do agree with this. Heaven Hill, okay, all right. Ernesto Jose, good morning, Mr. Wasn't Me. I am innocent. Okay, keep on. 435-2041. What is your take on this? Is that approach the right one, or should we be following what's happening in the outer countries, starting to, be very concerned as to who comes in and where they're coming from? Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Innocent.
How are you?
I'm great. First, I'd like to say a special
special thank you to the technicians and whoever had to brave the weather to go to Kubala to ensure that the people on the outer parishes are now hearing GBN on the Liquor Radio. We say thank you and we are eternally grateful. With regards to marketing board, I know you kind of switch already,
but it's okay.
But I really want to commend and applaud the efforts of the present administration for being so brave to tackle this situation. I mean, it's long overdue, and I find it so unfair for people to be bashing them because, I mean, marketing board had been operating for so long and for so many years. The farmers and people that, are involved with them have been complaining. Government would have had to pay workers for the past 3 months. They're owing so much. MNIB had a building that they own in Grenville where the RBTT was. That property has since been sold. What has happened? The previous administration had investigation into the operation of MNIB, and that is before this one took office. Where is the results? Come on. I mean, where is our conscience? Let us sit and reason and talk. There are a lot of farmers that their lives have been positively affected by MNIB. And there are lots that are complaining they can't get paid for their produce. And let us face the reality and stop bashing, especially the new administration. I find it so unfair. So many times we're involved in activities with the banks, and when we can't pay, what do? They sell our property. You're talking about they've already taken decision when they're having discussion and people are airing their views. It's so unfair. And with regards to that of the COVID, 19 and whatever, I mean, somehow I think our people had to be a little more responsible. The authorities would have had to dump thousands of vaccines. We refused to take it. So many complained we were unsure. And now, I mean, we really need it because to me, there is hardly any on island. You have students that want to go to SGU and they must have it and they can't have it. So, I mean, it's hard, but some way, somehow, they have to look into getting it on island for those who need it. You have people who have to travel, and, must have it if you're going to the U.S. and so.
Okay.
But I urge everyone to, take the necessary precaution, do what you have to do, continue to wash hands, sanitize, wear a mask because we have them among us. Okay. Have a great day, Innocent, and thank you.
Thanks, and same to you, all right? And, yeah, point well taken. Let's head to our Facebook page. Heaven Hill says Grenada needs transparency on COVID and vaccines so the nation can trust and have confidence in the COVID management. The past chief medical officer and doctor in charge of the COVID and advocating vaccines resigned suddenly, leaving public to speculate about controversial rumors circulating as to why he resigned as it related to the integrity of the vaccines. Grenadians need explanation to dispel mistrust. Annette Ragbasin says, the reality is NNP should remember the words, we will decide who lives on and who dies, from the mouth of the leader at the time we needed serious protection. We have capable health care providers to advise us now, not bullies who bullied our nurses. All right. Ernesto Jose says, last night I happened to listen to the second phase of the town hall on what to do with MNIB. And once again, I was impressed by the farmers and the agro-processors who made points on the way forward with MNIB. I think most of the comments were based on the intent of the revolution for the farmers with MNIB. I think Mr. Killer made a great contribution to the end of the meeting. Also, the PM mentioned he recorded most of the suggestions that were made. So says Ernesto Jose. It's 16 minutes on to 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock workers, you should just be entering the building, all right? Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Innocent. How you doing?
I am alive and thankful. How about you?
I'm blessed. I just want to sound like the past Prime Minister now. NIS is a business and it's supposed to operate like a business. Liat was a business and I'm not pumping any more money into Liat. I'm not telling our Prime Minister to say that or to do that. But if you have a business running, you should be able to take care of it. It's unfair to have how much people working in this company and owing them $2.something million. I just want to say to my Prime Minister this morning, I didn't hear no cheese blow up. I didn't hear no bank bundle. So the people are used to handle the money, let them find the money and pay it back. Bye-bye.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. This caller is one kind of caller. 15 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Yes, as it relates to the new COVID strain, what I have read from the World Health Organization and listened to BBC and other reputable sources of information is that it is more deadly than the American vaccine.
It did not say
than the Delta.
The Delta variant. What I think they said.
Delta variant,
what
right?
they said. What I think is being said is that it's more transmissible. As to the mortality of it, that has not yet been declared. But
yes, but. Okay, it's still in its embryonic stages, right? Because each strain appears to be behaving differently. Now, for the chief medical officer and the management team and the Ministry of Health to suggest, listen, that we are not going to be testing people, I don't think that is the best approach. I don't think we should panic either and close down the country immediately. But I do believe people that are coming from certain parts of the world, for example, Spain has implemented a procedure to test folks who went to China and Chinese visitors, also England. And I do believe because of our international travelers and our dependency on tourism, we should begin, questioning people where they were in the last, let's say, 8 days, the last month or something, and conduct some tests. I believe that approach, let us wait and see and hold on still, is exceptionally dangerous.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you, caller. I agree with you. I agree with this. It's going to be technical. It's rather technical because, for example, a lot of emphasis is being placed on travel to and from China. However, what's about when people get into that big melting pot called the US of A? All right. Where we have, multinationals interacting. So someone might be coming from, let's say, Manhattan, coming here, and we think that Manhattan might be safe, or Texas might be safe, but they're interacting with people from all over. So it's rather technical. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, in relation to the Omicron, the new strain of the virus, I think that we need to have a collective approach. Everyone must get involved at some level in terms of surveillance and so on, taking the necessary action and not reactive. We need to also encourage people to boost their immune system, not necessarily force them to take vaccination.
Okay.
And improve their diet.
Okay.
If we do that, we might be saving ourselves.
All right. Okay, thank you, caller. Yeah, point well taken. Personal health is personal. The government and the health authorities need to create that environment for good health practices. But your personal health is dependent on you. Okay, to boost your immune system, practice proper hygiene and so forth. I think that's the way forward. All right, Diane Thomas says. Someone said the farmer is not calling. Why? They out in the farms. All right, okay. The farmers are working, but they have cell phones, As far as I know, that's Ernesto Jose talking here. As far as I know, COVID-19 never left us. It may be on the low, but people were still coming down with the virus, not as much as in the early stage with the many deaths per day. I think we should go back to the protocol and continue boosting up ourselves with the necessary vitamins and eating vegetables, especially the colored ones. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Alison Cox Osplund says, to me, government is right about not putting any COVID restrictions. The people should take care of themselves too. Too much restrictions would only cripple the economy of the country. All right. Okay, that's good. 435-2041, that's the number. Let's take a final call in this segment. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Innocent.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Okay. In terms of Marketing Board was set up during the Revolution, and somewhere along the line, Marketing Board lost its focus and started to compete with the regular supermarkets. I don't know if that's where the problem came about, but we need to refocus Marketing Board and get back to the original intent of what it was created for.
Okay.
To serve the farmers,
okay.
Not to compete as such.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. All right, folks, we take a commercial break, a final one in the segment, and when we get back, what we will be looking at a very, very, very good gesture by Grenada Association for Retired Persons, GAP, as they have procured 4 million Canadian dollars worth of assistive devices and other medical supplies, and that they will be donating to hospitals, nursing homes, and individuals. We'll be looking at that when we get back, and that will take us to the top. See you after these messages.
You ate well, drank and indulged, laughed and had so much fun for the festive season. But now it's time. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Start the year right with your health as a priority. Cleanse and flush your blood, liver, and kidneys with quality herbs and supplements. Purchase one of our detox combo packs starting from $100. Purchase a full body detox pack starting from $500. Get 10% off on colonic irrigation. Get a chance to win a free colonic irrigation treatment and product coupons with every purchase. We are located in Grandin, minutes before the Food Fair Shopping Center, immediately opposite the old Capital Bank building in the Regency Commercial Suites. Give us a call at 231-6642 or 418-7115 or visit nirvana.gd for more info. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. This offer is valid until March 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember.
All right, friend, welcome back to the final segment of the conversation this morning, and I'm going to quickly run to our WhatsApp platform. St. George's is not Grenada. There should be a centralized parking house that should be in the north or east of the island and transported to the various outlets. I endorse that statement 1,000,000%. Yeah, St. George's is not Grenada. You understand? Okay, 435-2041. We are now going to take that clip from our television platform showing the functionality of GAP.
An estimated 4 million Canadian dollars worth of medical supplies were donated to Grenada Association for Retired Persons Grenada from the Canada Caribbean Heart Health Education in Winnipeg. These medical supplies and assistive devices will be distributed to hospitals, organizations, elderly homes, and individuals across the state of Grenada. The donation was handed over Wednesday morning at the GAP headquarters in Lagoon Road, St. George. With the replacement of assistive devices an expensive undertaking, this donation is a welcomed one, as expressed by those in receipt.
Well, okay, for instance, we wanted beds with railings because what we are now getting is patients that are bedridden. And so this is really benefiting my home with the railings, and that's what I could say.
That was Patricia Chichester from the Chichester's Nursing Home located at Spring St. George. Collecting on behalf of the Charles Memorial Home in Diamond St. Mark was the institution's manager, Melinda Phillip.
I'm here this morning to collect donations on behalf of the institution, and I had to publicly say thank you to God and the donor partners for thinking of us, for going the extra mile, for putting forth that effort to put these much needed items together so that the residents, the elderly, people who need it most has access to it and can get these items for use. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Opel Peter, a friend of GARP, says the equipment are usable and praised the efforts of those involved in putting the package together to assist others who cannot afford to purchase them.
Some of these hospitals abroad, they have all these extra equipment every now and again when they change out the system, and they have all these good things that are good and are usable, but their system don't work with it anymore. So if they could put it, give it to someone who needs it. So that's how I see, that's how I look at it.
Christina John, GBN News.
This side says $0 and this side says $1,000.
That's the number, and you know, when something good is done, we should applaud it. And I would personally like to take the opportunity and applaud the team at GARP for that work. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Notion.
Yes.
Marketing board should never be made to compete with local farmers or sell products and so on that are not manufactured.
Okay.
Marketing board should be concentrating on manufacturing some of the products the farmers produce and get market abroad. We have a lot of places abroad that want some of or many of our products.
Okay.
Because they say it's better than the products that they are making. So we have to get the marketing board to chiefly manufacture things and export these things. You cannot, it's true, you would say, another would say competition is a healthy thing. But you shouldn't be competing with your own people, just buying and selling.
Okay.
Manufacture the goods.
All right.
You could do many things. You said we have a lot of scientists in Grenada that could tell you what to do with this and what to do with so and what to do the other products. Then we could export it, even this cheap potato chip.
Okay.
Manioc chip.
Caller, we get the gist.
What other chip?
We get the gist of it. All right, we get the gist of it. I
want to give you the whole thing, man.
No,
feel you had the gist.
When you meet me, on the street in town later, you go give me the gist and you'll give me the whole thing and so forth. All right, they should be concentrated on value-added product. That's what the caller is trying to say. Thank you, caller. 435-2041. At least I want one or two persons to call and show their appreciation to GAP. All right, as a matter of fact, in the interest of time, I will revisit this story tomorrow because it's not trivial. It's a very important something. 4 million Canadian dollars worth of medical supplies donated to Grenada by a non-profit organization. That is remarkable. And I will give it the credit that it needs. We will rerun that story tomorrow. So don't for once think that I'm going to trivialize that's a very important story, but we've basically run out of time, so we are going to revisit that story tomorrow. Okay, let's take this final caller. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Innocent. How you do?
I am fine. How about you?
Mr. Innocent, I'm well, and I'm thankful too.
Okay.
Mr. Innocent, I go straight to the point because I forget quickly. So before I forget, let me say this. This Marketing and National Importing Board, hear this. This problem has been going on for quite a while. And the former Prime Minister says it was under investigation. Now, we haven't heard anything, whether if we are, in my knowledge, I could be wrong. But hear this, the former Prime Minister, the former administration should come out and say something. No, the Marketing Board, I believe this Prime Minister doing the right thing. He can't afford it. He can't do whatever. It's not paying itself. It have to close it down. I think that he is making the right decision.
Okay.
But Mr. Innocent, if a government in office, my thing is, after they leave office and they leave all their problem, we don't go back and investigate them. We don't put them in jail if we don't do nothing. So they're doing anything and come out in office. This Prime Minister is a lawyer with experience. Why wouldn't he investigate and let the other people come and answer questions? Instead, the opposition going and GBN always reading something from the opposition. Why wouldn't the opposition come out and speak and say A, B, and C, answer some questions to the people?
Okay.
Mr. Innocent, have a lovely day.
You too, my dear. Love you.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Good.
Bye-bye.
All right. Quickly, Heaven Hill says, I hope the recipient of these products pass on the savings and goodwill to the elderly and their families. The owners of the homes are often avaricious, and they must in turn charge reasonable fees to the elders. All right, that's Heaven Hill. Thank you, folks. We've exhausted the time. Thanks for participating, and should the good Lord spare your lives, we'll have another edition of The Conversation tomorrow, same time, same frequencies and platforms. I'm Gordon Joseph, thanking you for being a part of the program. We now join the British Broadcasting Corporation for a bulletin of news.